Mic check, 1, 2. All right, welcome back here. This is going to be our fourth broadcast on the IWT Aloha Classic for 2017, and it's finals day. And it's a good thing we waited for this because we got skate park throwdown conditions here. All sorts of targets. It's a target-rich environment here at Goalkeeper today, everybody. And welcome to the live cast. This will be our final day of the contest. We are in the men's semifinals. That's going to consist of 2 4-man heats. And the women's final, which is a 1-heat affair with 4 shredders in it. Take you through the pro men who are in the top 8 right now. Heat number 33, Lenny, Morgan Waro, Bant Rodinger, Levi Cipher. We have 3 former Aloha Classic champions in that heat. Heat number 34, the second half of the top 8. Cami Zubon, Kevin Pritchard, Bujma Giol, and Graham Ezzy. That heat also consists with a few former Aloha Classic champions. Bujma won the AWT division a few years ago, and Kevin Pritchard famously was victorious last year, which is not the first time he's won at Goalkeeper either. In the women's final, Sarah Hauser, Shauna Kropas, Tatiana Howard, and Vickie Abbott. That's a very, very well-rounded top 4. Congratulations to all the competitors for making it as far as you have. And understandably, people were ready to go around 9 in the morning today. Got your rigs secured tight. Make sure all your ropes are good, all your universal bases and everything else is tight. Because this is a very rare opportunity in anyone's career to be in this position. Kevin Pritchard, spoke to him this morning. Pressure's on, he said. He's absolutely right, the pressure's on. The pressure is also on the other sailors when you're against a competitor like Kevin. Bant Rodinger, had a word with him this morning. The Samurai. With the top score in the event so far, well-documented air taka into the pit with an air after it for a 9.7. Kind of reversing his fortunes in terms of starting slow, which was a trend he was experiencing earlier in the event. That's done. Lenny hasn't won a windsurfing event at Goalkeeper, and he looks destined for greatness today. I must say he's somebody I'm watching very closely. Cami Zubon squeaking through his quarterfinal with a dramatic late burst of 8-point scores. Very, very nice wave 360 and a wave that he just cut to ribbons. Cami Zubon solidly placing him in this top 8. Graham Ezzy's ride to this semi has also been maybe a little overshadowed by some of the other performances, but make no mistake, Graham's also vying for the throne, vying for his first official Goalkeeper win. Bujma Giol, we mentioned him as well. Morgan Waro looking really sharp, looking very focused, been there before. Levi Cipher as well, seemed to be kind of a little more jovial, bringing an air of confidence, but also just knowing that Goalkeeper is going to decide this on its own to a degree. It is less of a situation today where there are these big waves. If we maybe get a lineup shot really quickly, we can pan to it. But the point being that more of those medium-sized performance offerings on tap here. So it's every bit to play for as far as being able to have a full slate of opportunities to get big scores. Guys will go pick and choose, but I think more so than yesterday, most of the waves in this situation are going to be takers. I have seen certain waves peeling from green trees all the way through the point, logo high, and absolutely rippable. And as we see certain sailors kind of coming in from their warm-up, I am curious as if that's a non-competitor who thought he'd get a free sail in with the top 8, and Goalkeeper's rewarding him with a trip in front of the rocks. We'll see if he makes it out there. He's fine. Brad's all good. He's got his hat on. All right. Water safety's in place. I hope all of you at home are tuned in here to either ridescore.com or Aloha Classic Maui.com. That's going to bring it to you. And we're starting. This is the beginning of the heat. We thought we might experience a delay, but our watches are synced, and the competitors are out there, and the first semi is on. So let's pan out to the lineup and bring in Rob Funk. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Goalkeeper 2017 Aloha Classic.
Semifinals right here. This is, in any case, one of the hugest heats in any of these sailors' career. And this battle right here between Lenny, Waro, Rodinger, and Cipher is one for the ages. One for the ages, you guys. Absolutely pivotal battle to make the finals in the 2017 Aloha Classic. And that's Graham Ezzy just giving it a warm-up, giving it a little look-see. We have 1 minute to go before the start of this, and what you're seeing outside as you look at Graham, maybe we don't need to really focus on Graham as much as what we need to understand here is that the sequence will come in. There is a really nice set. Graham's just giving it a feel here. He might even come in. It's hard to say what his decision is. 53 seconds to go to start. Graham has every right to ride this wave if he wants, which he's going to do. Let's take a look at Graham on a little warm-up here as he sail, taboo board. And you're getting a look at what's possible here. Rail-to-rail carving. This is extremely performance-oriented conditions here. Guys are going to be putting it on the line, and, you know, a high risk-to-make ratio is going to be the result because it's not as warbly as yesterday. What are you looking forward to in this heat, Rob?
I'm looking for a lot of aerial maneuvers because, like you said, the conditions are so conducive for it today. You're looking at the clean wave. It's got a little bit more north in the direction today, and so it's just opening up everything for everyone. Wind's a little light right now, but I think that's going to change because I heard word down the coast it's extremely windy.
Okay, so guys are lit up at Kanaha. It's another reason to fuel up on my Amber Night here. Thanks, guys, for supplying me on my superfood nutritional supplement here. Heat's on, and as if on cue, let's go outside here. Levi Cipher on his first ride of this semifinal with a wave behind him. That's going to be Waro. So Cipher first here. Levi Cipher connecting on the inside. He's going to take this wave all the way to the point. Gouges his first bottom turn. Big amounts and chunks of spray. Here comes Levi for the lower section. Doesn't get under it, unfortunately. Waro right outside of him. Tags the first section with authority. Down in front of H. Poco Point. Waro setting up his first ride. Cutting some serious rug behind Waro after this hit. Pan to Kai Lenny after the tweaked air. There's Kai Lenny. Perfect timing, cameraman. That's Kai Lenny's first hit on this wave. Bernd Rodinger's behind Kai Lenny. So after Kai Lenny, out the back, there's Bernd Rodinger on his first hit. Great work, camera crew. We got everything in there. 1, 2, 3, 4 exchange here. Guys are kind of like opening up their salvo. We got 27 minutes left in this heat. Rodinger's going to town on this wave. He's getting a lot of turns, a lot of maneuvers. I'm not going to speculate who got the best of that exchange. A little unfortunately for Levi Cipher, cutting got shut down as Bernd Rodinger finishes the job. Double aerial. This wave's going to end up scoring something fairly significant, you guys, because Rodinger actually went all the way down in front of the rocks and actually he just put himself on the rocks to start his heat. You're watching it. Keep it on Bernd right here. Bernd with this little inside section that he tried to go for basically just sailed onto the rocks. And we're trying to figure out what his next move is here. I don't know what the judges want to give him for that. And I don't really know if he really planned on going on the rocks to start his semifinal. But I can assure you that it wasn't exactly worth it. Bernd's team is struggling now. You got people running around trying to help him. Does he swim out through the rocks? He's got a chance. Keep it here. There's nothing else going on. Okay, let's pan to Kai Lenny on the outside. A fascinating decision to go in front of those rocks, let me tell you. Okay, pan out to Kai Lenny. Lineup. Kai Lenny off the bottom. Wave number 2 for him. And he goes down. And this is kind of the pick and choose phase. I think there's definitely some amping going on. Let's not kid ourselves. This is a semifinal at the Aloha Classic. You only get a few chances in your life to get this far. Rob, take me through Bernd's decision to go through the inside section and sail onto the rocks.
Well, that was definitely weird because he was wanted that one last hit, and it just projected him, I think, further than he thought because he was almost out of the rocks, and he hit him, and it just drove the bottom of his board, just drove him right into the rocks, basically still on his board. And it was, wow, I've never seen that done before.
The Samurai attempts Harikiri on his first wave, and luckily he's going to survive it because he's sailing out right now. And it's no joke that Bant pretty much skated out of that. And you know what? Let's just focus on the ride. He got the best out of that exchange on the first wave. Levi Cypher's a little bit shut down. Kai Lenny's was a 1-2 punch. Morgan actually got the best exchange. Now that I remember, Morgan had a full-blown hit right at the heart of the peak. So let's see exactly how that shakes down. I'd have Morgan getting the best out of that exchange, but to Bant's credit, he rode that wave all the way through. Yet, according to Duncan, we're not scoring length of ride as much as we're scoring radical approach with speed, power, and flow. Rob.
Bant did finish that wave. He couldn't have finished it any further than that. He was done. But you're right. That was a scoring wave, but what a heat opening round.
Not a dull moment here at the Aloha Classic. If we got guys sailing onto the rocks, I'll think that just exemplifies that Bant really wants this. And he'll shake it off, and we'll have a good laugh about it because that was spectacular. I'll give him full credit for it. I don't know what the judges are going to give him for it, though. And that's probably why I'm here talking about it rather than judging this heat, right?
I agree. I wonder how his board is, because he went in there pretty hard. So, and it seems like he's sailing out fine, but we'll see after that. But if he has to go on from another heat, how well his board maintained those rocks, because he did get a pounding inside there. I
think he got away with it. I mean, we'll see. Obviously, he might want to flip that board upside down and see if he still has 3 fins. There's a Multo 4, depending on what he's riding. I believe he's a tri-fin guy right now. Bant with a very unusual approach in terms of radical and slightly different. And that's another thing to talk about here in the fact that that people who can separate themselves in any way will win the favor of the judges in terms of what they are capable of. And Bant showed that yesterday with his 9.7 air taka to aerial combo. And quite honestly, I think that the reset button kind of got pressed here. Now Morgan Waro with an 8.83. And they haven't given Bant his score yet, or Levi. But Morgan clearly has himself in a great position here. Morgan, more so than anybody else right now, with a high 8, can play pick and choose. And he is the furthest one out. As you look at Bant Roedinger tacking on the inside, he's going to have the point all to himself because the other 3 competitors are outside of him. And Bant's going to take his choice here and wind up his coil. Here goes Bant Roedinger off the bottom. Gigantic taka rotation. Are you kidding me? Better than the one yesterday. The Samurai has spoken again. And his sword is sharper than you would ever want it to be if you're competing against him. Bam, bam. Same rotation. Rob.
Unbelievable. Landed right in the perfect spot on that taka. He landed right in the opening space of the wave and continued on. That's so fun to watch.
That should be on Sports Center. I agree. Front row and center move of the day so far. Bant Roedinger, absolutely same style goiter. Vertical approach and coming out of it like it was a forward loop, Rob.
Oh, definitely coming out like it was a forward loop. And like I said, continuing on. At least this time he stayed away from the rocks.
That also demonstrates the fact that if you're Bant Roedinger, you don't necessarily need to go. You can find a score off an end bowl nugget like that. Let's pan to the outside because we got none other than Kai Waterman Lenny on his Nash rig, setting up at the point on a gorgeous-looking offering, swinging a little wide, but setting up nice. Here goes Kai Lenny. Rob, take it away.
Well, Kai's setting up high on this wave. He's going to come down. He's going to bottom turn. Nice bottom turn into this. Comes up late hit. Makes it through the whitewater. Nice little foam climb off that. Another one's catching this section here. He's going to come down to the end of this wave. One more move. Does he have it? Yes, a nice little tweaked aerial there. Small one, but it's going to score for him. As he comes into the channel, this should be kicking out after this little wave right here. He's going to do one more little, oh, that was a nice little backside maneuver, and then he's out of this wave. Good ride for Kai right there.
Excellent ride for Kai again with the rail work. And our exchange sitting up here, everybody's at the point here. There goes Bant Roedinger kicking out of a wave, and the sequence behind Bant is Morgan and Levi with waves behind them, which is maybe what Bant saw. Here goes Morgan Waro, 2-time Aloha Classic champion. Beautiful section hit, but it got him a little discombobulated off the cutback, and he's out. Behind him, Levi Cipher. Classic Goalkeeper look with the crown of the lip and a vertical lip climb. Cipher meets business, target acquired. Target hit. Cipher heads for the channel. Hopefully he can get one good slashy turn here. Possible 360 setup. He will outrun the whitewater and he will get one more turn. Outside of Levi, cut to Bant Rodinger. Perfect work, camera guys. This is what it's all about. Bant Rodinger, third wave ridden in this semifinal. Floater line, risky little nose bonk, but he gets under the lip and crushes it with authority. No longer a grommet. Bant Rodinger, all 21 years old of him, with the savvy experience of a seasoned veteran, and once again, two-time Aloha Classic event winner. And let's check his scores because he already has something solid in the bag with the one before, and this is merely going to back it up. Cipher definitely with his best effort so far. Morgan Waro looking on something that he might have had a little bit of extra, but that wave kind of didn't give it to him, unfortunately. And as we slowly update our scores, let me catch my breath briefly. 19 minutes to go in this first semi. And Lenny's going to have a good score. Everybody's on the board pretty solidly here. Bant's the guy who's kind of got the little extra little bit here. Let's see what the judges are going to give him for that goiter. Everything to play for. There's Morgan Waro, Hot Sales, JP. Two-time Aloha Classic event winner. I mean, come on, this is a semi. This is a final in anybody's book. Next exchange, you're looking at it on your screen. Lenny outside of Morgan Waro. And a wave outside of it. Morgan's on the first real wave of this set. Might take a look around, realizes he's where he is. But he knows who and what he is too. Here we go, 1-2 exchange. Waro, first bottom turn with Lenny right behind him on his heels. Morgan sets up for the section, misses it as Lenny, back to Kai, had already crushed the daylights out of this wave on the opening section. Lenny's best wave of this heat, in my opinion, just happened right here. Here he goes, H. Poco proper. This is the gravy train right here off the bottom and a nice little slash for Lenny. He means business. And behind Kai, pan to Levi Cipher. Here comes down the lip climb, Cipher off the bottom. Not quite an opportunity to do what he can. And behind Cipher, keep going here. Bant Rodinger, US 1113 off the bottom. Does he have the 360? Under rotates it. Kind of slowly, didn't get as vertical as he could or should or would. We have a break in the action. That was a fever pitch situation there. And Rob's going to go up to the hill while we have reception for the scores because it's just too gnarly. Too much going down right now for me to speculate, but I'll take you through what I've seen so far. Bant Rodinger, move of the heat so far. Morgan Waro with a very high 8. And we'll see where those scores line up because Morgan still started the heat off with a high 8, an 8.83 if I'm not mistaken. And we'll figure out where we are in this positional battle of the heat shortly. But that exchange right there kind of exemplifies what's happening with the conditions overall, is that there are scoring opportunities left and right now. Lots of these medium-sized performance waves coming in, both at the point and above. Lenny's last wave, you didn't see the beginning of it, right at the bottom of green trees. He just bottom turned under the cornice, climbed up, and just batted that lip. Full rebound into his bottom turn, which put him in faster than when he hit the lip. Speed, power, and flow, you guys. Lenny has it in spades. Lenny got a great ride. Can't wait to see the scores. Here's Morgan Waro. Most likely playing position with this swell. I'd be surprised if he opts to ride it. No, back to sail upwind mode. And it's going to help him. Put him in position here. Now we're at 15 minutes. So to speak, the halfway point of this heat. Everything to play for. Unfortunately, a little curtain of rain has hit us. And that's going to both bring the wind and take the wind away. We're going to get a little squall here, and we might actually lose the wind in some way, shape, or form here. There is Bant Rodinger. The fearless samurai at H. Boko Point has bottom turning on his Nash rig. Beautiful offering for Rodinger. Here he goes. Full extension. Taka number 2 falls through the pit. Falls through the bottom of the wave. absolutely putting it all on the line? Is his rig in one piece? That's what I really want to know right now. Okay, let's cut to the chase here. With Bernd Roedinger's Taka, he's getting an 8.5 for it because he maybe didn't exactly back it up with that aerial. So it's just a notch under the 9.7 he got yesterday. He's in first place. He's got 16 points. What's Kai Lenny's highest score? 7.6 for his last wave. 14.27 total. Morgan Waro trying to match his first ride. 8.83. He hasn't done that yet. Levi Cipher in an absolutely unfamiliar fourth place with a 6.57 to his credit. Levi's in a battle he hasn't been in a long time, Rob.
What a stacked heat this is, man. That's for sure. I mean, all four of these guys could win it in a second, and it's just amazing that Levi sitting in fourth is, like you said, not a usual position for him.
As we've also seen people able to put it on the line here in money time. Let's go pound down to Bernd Roedinger down low if we can. That's the lineup. But I'm just looking at myself a little bit to the left of your screen as these riders set up. Is that Bernd's swimming for his rig? That's all I wanted to get across here. So he kind of lost that last ride, and he is swimming. So be that as it may, whatever it means, we'll see how it plays out. It just means more nuggets are getting harvested by these guys, Morgan, Kai, and Levi. And here comes the 1-2-3 exchange. Morgan Waro, H. Poco point. First wave of this set. Skies his aerial. This will probably be his second best score, but maybe not. And I see Morgan do this a lot. Doesn't realize there's anything else to it. Here goes Kai Lenny. Behind the peak hit. Perfect timing. Absolutely read that like a children's book. But none of these waves really offered any of these riders a chance to get into that excellent range. Bernd Roedinger has gotten back with this rig. He's in the channel between lanes and the point. Back to Levi Cipher, Goya, and Quattro, along with Red Bull, and Cipher Academy. Levi Cipher is a scholar of this sport and a top-level competitor as he reaches H. Poco point and might have a 360 here, ladies and gentlemen. He does. Absolute perfection. He winds up his coil, and Levi's in the game. Right in the game. That's a straight-up gorgeous 360 by Cipher. Video game style, Sub-Zero Mortal Kombat. Right into it. And Cipher's in this heat now. I called the 3. You saw he was winding up to it, Rob.
Yes, he was. You knew that from way up the line. And he pulled off a great one. This is going to put him back in the game.
Cipher's 360 is based on the philosophy that he's going to pin you deep. He's going to set up a lot of speed, and right when he's off the bottom, he grabs wide, leans back, and lets his board just bat the lips straight up and goes around and makes it. Right on par with what else he's done out there. It was a beautiful 360. I think the judges are mulling it over a little, but I don't think they should hesitate to reward him very nicely for it. Got other things happened on that ride. A few other things, you know, feature turns or whatever. Not going to call it the one-hit wonder, but it certainly wasn't, you know, the full body of work where I'd be screaming 10 or anything. Now let's look at our scores here. Bernd Roedinger clinging to his lead. Kai Lenny's the guy who can threaten him. And Kai Lenny's going to have a score drop here real soon. And we'll see exactly what that becomes. 11 minutes left in this heat, Rob. This is now into that final stanza. And basically, I'll hand it to you in a second, but Bernd Roedinger's heading out on the channel. Levi's below him. Morgan outside. Kai Lenny outside. That's your situation.
Yeah, and coming down to a crucial time because anyone could still take this heat. That's the great thing about these four great competitors is they're all so top-notch that they can leapfrog each other into at a last-minute thing, basically like how Cami did yesterday.
The 360 Levi just made sets the table for a Cami-like comeback out of the abyss of fourth place. Levi can zap you real quick. You know, it's not going to take much. Again, Keith Tiboul shaping Levi's boards, a tight, nearly decade-long relationship here between the two, and Keith has done a great job with Levi I think Levi's got a fair amount of feedback in here, knows the way he wants to sail. Well, when you sail every day with somebody who shapes your boards, there's a connection there. There's absolutely a tight connection. And, you know, all the credit to Keith for helping Levi up his game there. And, you know, I'm just giving credit where credit's due. Really have to. And Levi's meticulous about his equipment. And it shows because he's got the upside now. Levi Cipher jumps into second place with an 8.43. 15 points, barely nipping Lenny, who needs a 7.4 to advance into the finals here. Levi did what he had to do there because now Levi can erase his lowest score. An 8.43, and the other person who's right in there is Waro, who's just one big score away from making this a very monumental hard heat to call.
Oh, this is so close.
It's so close. I mean, Morgan Waro bumped into fourth place here. He's got an 8.83. Pardon me if I'm not mistaken. That is the highest score in this heat. Yes, 8.8 for Waro's first wave. Let's pan to Levi Cipher, ready to back up here. Levi Cipher behind the peak at H. Poco Point. This is a gorgeous offering, but it's also probably a tactical decision on his part to not call it an 8-point potential wave, and he backs out. Two things there. He kept someone else off it. That's the bottom line. You can keep people off waves. They're not able to ride it. That's it. Bottom line. Pivotal action here at the 2017 Aloha Classic. Hope you're enjoying the live cast here. We've got some special guests lined up. I was told Robbie Nash is coming down to call a heat. Can't wait to have him cruise over here and catch up with the man. Polakow might show up, but he had a birthday party last night. It might be, you know, a little bit later. Here goes Morgan Waro. Awesome looking wave right under the peak. Winds up his goiter, makes his goiter. Big time make for Waro. Cheers on the cliff. Kabam, Waro gonna back that up. And you know that's what you needed to do there. Morgan is back in the game. What are the judges going to give that? That was combination maneuvers, Rob.
That was a really good combo maneuver. He stuck it quick, and he did it so well that he's gonna leapfrog someone, I bet.
Quite possible. Cipher has something to say to you about that. And what he's going to do is he's going to try to erase his score with another 360 that he doesn't quite make. Just missed making that. The wind did not allow him to rotate as quickly as he would have liked. 7 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Everything to play for all four riders in this tight semifinal battle between Morgan Waro, Levi Cipher, Lenny, and Bant Rodinger. The two remaining Nash riders in the same semi. A little bit of friendly fire there, but it is what it is. I'm sure Robbie's plenty happy with the performance of both his top dogs here.
Yeah, that's for sure. Nash is going 1 and 2 in this heat would be a big victory for Nash sails and boards.
Fact. Here goes Lenny trying to make that prophecy fulfilled. Lenny on a gorgeous Goalkeeper wave right under the lip. Spray flying. Absolutely staggering amounts of power from the Hawaiian. Lenny, next stab at the lip. Outside of Lenny, outside of Lenny, that's Bant Rodinger. How could I miss the hair with a really big aerial of his own? Rodinger off the bottom, runs his talker rotation, but under rotates it. Groans from the crowd there. Rodinger just missed having the nail in the coffin for everybody. Right there, if he had made that, we're talking about it not even being a discussion. He would have made the final with that. 6 minutes to go. That exchange with Lenny, is it a low 7? It's so close to being it. And, you know, that's what he's creeping for. He needs to get into second place. This is still a situation, you know, great if you're winning, but just as good if you're in second, advancing to the finals. Everything to play for here, Rob. I'm kind of trying to replay everything that just went down. Ooh. And it's just kind of apparent that Cipher and Waro are vying for this score here. What happened to Bant isn't as consequential in terms of the outcome of those other two. But, I mean, all of a sudden, if the right score drops, and all of a sudden, then it's Cipher and Waro in first and second, you can better believe Bernd Roedinger needs to know. And it's Bernd Roedinger in second and Morgan Waro in first. And the point spread differential is as follows. Bernd Roedinger's got an even 16 points. Levi Cipher with an even 15 points. And Morgan Waro has reclaimed first place.
Leapfrog.
Leapfrog. 4 minutes to go. Let the cards fall as they may. Morgan Waro in the lead in this heat.
Kai, how was that hit of Kai's? He went vertical.
It was vertical. That score hasn't dropped. Something tells me that it might affect it. Let's pan out to Levi Cipher setting up shop here with 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Levi Cipher can definitely erase his lower score and get right back into that advancing position. He's got a mid-level 8 to his credit. Here goes Cipher with Morgan Waro behind him. Cipher on the first wave of this set. Bottom turns under the peak, slams the lip. Good rebound. He's going to need to wait for it to build up now. Crisscrosses across the section. Waro's behind him. He hasn't started yet. Here goes Cipher. Kicks out. Trying to get to the part of the heat where he can actually make it happen. Waro, first opening move on this. A little bit of an underpowered hit. This doesn't exactly bode well for Waro, who really didn't put that together, but it's not over yet until then. That's going to not affect anything in this heat. That you're starting to see now is guys understand that they're not doing something that outdoes their lowest score. They give up in the middle of their wave ride and kick out. Seasoned competitors, all of them. Take Kai Lenny's wave away here, Rob.
So here's Kai. He's going to come out. He's fading upwind, and he's going to let this wave set up for him. He needs a good score to put himself back in the game himself. But he's had some great waves. Kai bottom turning. Look at the spray out that bottom and comes up, hits the aerial. Nice big tweaked aerial in that, and floats back down in front of the face, comes down the line. A little bit of ahead of it, but he needed to be there to hit that little lip right there for a little aerial there, and he's going to pretty much be done with this wave. It's going to be not one of his highest scoring waves, but it was a very good scoring wave. We'll see how what it changes.
The nuts and bolts of it are the following. Kai Lenny's in fourth now. He needs an 8.41 to advance into the final. Levi Cipher in third place needs a 7.58 to be second and an 8.8 to advance. So those guys still have it in front of them. Pivotal stuff. Right now it's Waro and Roedinger advancing. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. And Mana from Heaven might have just said, hey, I'm going to shut down the wind a little bit here and turn this into an absolute nail-biter final 2 minutes. Great if you can plane around, but when you're relegated to going half a mile an hour with everything on the line, it's excruciating.
Stressful.
Now, Levi Cipher, let's go outside, let's look, is slowly creeping back into the lineup. He knows the math. 2 minutes left. Levi needs a high 7 to make it into the final here. Definitely attainable in the right situation. Let there be no doubt about that. 1 minute and 43 seconds left. Waves on the horizon, guys. This is not over yet. Cipher might not be on the best exchange here. Let's see if he actually opts for it. Does he do the math? 1 minute, 30 seconds. I'm out. Levi's like, dude, I'm going to go down swinging on a good canvas. I'm not going to go down on a dribbler in a heat of this magnitude. It is what it is, you guys. You got to have a wave to be able to get the score. And what I see right now with 1 minute and 15 are some lines that are creeping down from upper green trees right to the point, right in the spot. Interesting sequence there. Kai Lenny got hooked in and splatted. Morgan Waro's on a beautiful wave, which keeps anybody else in this equation off of it. And 55 seconds to go. Morgan Waro, this is a gorgeous wave. He'll keep a prime wave. Nice bottom turn for Waro. Slashy turn off the top. Do the math. The wind's a little less. He kind of pogo sticks his lay down bottom turn. Here comes the point. Morgan Waro. Classic Waro. More of fending off than anything else. I don't think it's his highest score. It was a nice wave. Here comes Bernd Roedinger. he can shut the door right now. Bant with the taco rotation, complete make. One hit, but a big hit. And, you know, like in that situation, it is what you want. 15 seconds to go. 10 seconds. Lenny on a wave. He lets Levi Cipher on board. That was a very gentlemanly move by Lenny. With 5 seconds to go, here's Cipher's last swing at it. Under the lip. Here comes Cipher. Tries to get the 3. Does he get it? No. Kai's on a wave, and he's displaying intent. Lenny's wave will count. Does Lenny have it in him for a mid-level 8? Here it is. High line at the point. Lenny punches his bottom turn under the lip. Absolute mastery of the art of wave sailing. Another huge slash under the point, and Goalkeeper says, Kai, thank you for coming. From all of us up here for putting on such a massive, huge display. And we'll come back with our results from that heat at the 2017 Aloha Classic. And now a word from our sponsors. All right, welcome back. Flycatcher and Funk here. Next heat started, no action out there. And Morgan Waro and Bant Rodinger advance into the finals. Great heat. You guys like to congratulate all the competitors in that heat for a great run at the Aloha. Levi Cipher especially, I want to commend you for just years of battle. Super well done. Absolutely all 4 riders in that heat just ripped it to pieces. It's really cool to watch. Lenny, thank you for coming and competing in this event and lending your name to it and ripping. You know, your day will come, my friend. No doubt about it. This heat features Cami Zubon, Kevin Pritchard, Bujma Giol, and Graham Ezzy. And we're kind of in the opening 2 minutes of it. What you're seeing is kind of some of that strategical positioning that happens. And, you know, people want to be pick and choose here. It's a semifinal. This is the Aloha Classic. The cliff is packed with spectators, even if it's a little blustery or rainy. This is a spectacle upon no other. Here comes KP, our defending Aloha Classic champion, for his first score of the heat. A nice rebound off the whitewater there. Kind of a vertical climb aspect to it. Gouging turn aspect. KP signature model by Starboard cutting some serious rug here as Pritchard finishes his ride and Cami Zubon sets up behind him. Here's Cami Zubon on his orange blacktip in his quattro board. Draws a ferocious line off the bottom, and here comes Cami to the point where the wave will offer what it's going to offer. Kabam, one-handed goiter with a really near make. He landed it standing, Rob. It's going to be worth something.
It is definitely going to be worth something. That was unbelievably. What a beautiful maneuver.
I mean, call it a kick-out maneuver or whatever, but the fact that he didn't, like, sail away from it isn't really going to take a huge amount of points out of it. He landed it, and it was his last little statement of the ride.
really was. That was the end of the wave. He couldn't have ended on a better note. I mean, he could have sailed away from it, but it didn't really matter.
Here goes Bujma Giol, all the way upwind. Green trees under the peak. Massive hit from Bujma and dramatically got blown up. Bujma, as you observed, Rob, has been catching his clue a lot. And that time it really undid him. I think he's been getting some good points from the judges when he pulls it out and has the flow of it. But unfortunately, that time there was too much momentum. He went really late and just got out there and just boosh, blew up. But he charged it. It was really, he showed intent to hit it, and he really got under the lip. And I really liked everything except for the fact that when he came down, his clue caught, and it totally blew him up. He's in one piece, though, but he's in a bad spot. He's right in the middle of the impact zone. Now let's pan out, because Kevin Pritchard has a 1-2 exchange setting up with Cami Zubon. That's Pritchard with Zubon below him. Zubon is going to ride this wave at the point. Orange sail, Zubon. Okay, he kicks out. Stay with Pritchard. Here comes infamous KP backing up his first wave ride. He's on the cycle. KP's hungry to be in the final here and defend his title. Kevin Pritchard sets up. Beautiful top turn. Absolutely masterful top turn again. The point offers him his projection ramp one-handed aerial. It's a slow climb into this. There goes Graham Ezzy. Just getting a swooping turn. Really gets the board around. The judges like it, you guys. It might be a smaller wave, but it's an aggressive turn, and it's not over until the horn blows. 23 minutes left in this second semifinal. Massive battle on tap here. And here come our first scores. KP opens up with a 6.5. He's going to better that with his second wave. And we're waiting for Zubon's score, and we're waiting for Giol and Ezzy's score. So far, let the judges do their work. Let's kind of catch our breath, because it's going to go back and forth. And Zubon's on a wave on the outside. And here we go. Cami Zubon on his orange black tip and his quattro board. Nice and lit up. This is a windy moment in the seat. The wind just spiked up. Funk, take it away.
Okay, Cami setting up toward green trees right-hander. Bottom turning into this thing. A nice, slow, drawn-out turn. Comes off the top. Nice off the top. Going to come around the corner of this whitewater. Going to come up and go as vertical as he can. Goes for a 360, but doesn't pull it off. And it was his first wave. He's just testing the whole area out.
I think that's actually his second wave, but still. Because he had that goiter, remember?
Yeah, that's right.
But it is his second wave. And yes, it did get a lot windier. This is that, you know, you got the packed trade showers coming in. It is blowing good. Good, solid 4-5 if you were me right now for Goalkeeper. It's definitely perfectly lit up for a gorgeous day here at the finals of the 2017 Aloha Classic. Massive moment here. Kevin Pritchard and Graham Ezzy, the two top Ezzy riders in this semi. A little more friendly fire. Here goes Pritchard. Full rail bottom turn and disgusting contact. That was just fearless. Under the lip again with projection and one-handed. He ends up in the channel. Behind him, Graham Ezzy. Graham Ezzy straight off the bottom. Wham! Full rail cutback. Here comes a gorgeous right-hander section. Graham carves under it. Nice canvas for Graham. Does he get under for the 3? I think he's got it. 360 for Ezzy. Big upgrade on the point scale for Ezzy. I think that's his first 3 of the comp. And he couldn't have picked a better time. And that wave was begging him to do the 3. It was like, Graham, hit me right here.
Okay, here we have our scores up right now. Looks like KP's in front with Graham Ezzy in second. He hasn't gotten that second wave score in yet, but he's already still in second, so he's going to improve on that by a lot, I'm sure. May even boost him into first.
Yeah, we're also waiting for Cami's second score, and it's just come in. And this is going to be Cami's third wave. Kevin Pritchard is in front here. Here comes Cami. Beelining, you know what's coming. Kabam! Head bob aerial with full projection. Cami Zubon Airlines, you are clear for landing. Cami Zubon, don't land until you feel like it. He could fly all the way back to Guadalupe if he wanted to off that lip. Ridiculous levels of airtime. Super, super impressive display. Reminds me of that time at Punta Preta he did a 20-foot aerial with the look back at me. Judges love it. They are going to reward it.
Style points.
Style points and just the amplitude, pure airtime. Here goes Mujma Guillol representing Morocco. He's got an opportunity to get right back in this. 360 for Guillol. He's got it, I think. Can he pull it out? Will the wind let him do it? It will! Thought he had it. Here goes Graham Ezzy. Ezzy sails, taboo boards, another 3 for Graham. Doesn't quite rotate it. Under-rotated. The wind's playing havoc here. Looky what we got here on the outside. Kevin Pritchard's like, hey, look at what I got here, Cami. You want this one, buddy? No, you don't have it. Cami behind him, though, is going to tack on something just as good. This is a 1-2 punch, you guys, with Graham stuck in the impact zone, taking donuts on the head. Ouch. Here goes Kevin Pritchard, our defending Aloha Classic champion. Reeling bottom turn. Lip holds up for him. Kevin Pritchard, big contact. That's a man's off the lip there. Why not do another one? Huge off the lip for Pritchard. Can he get a 3? No, but it's another third man-size off the lip. And Zubon just looks at the wave from behind and just goes, I'm going to kick out and tries the other.
That was pretty good. What a wave Kevin just had, man. He just tore that wave apart. He had like 3 or 4 great hits on that. And to finish up in the channel and to go back out with it, no harm done, that was a great wave.
Kevin Pritchard obliterated that wave. He obliterated it. Like, that wave is hurting after Pritchard got done with it. Anyway, Cami Zubon on a medium performance wave here. Watch out. He's got the ability to slice this thing into little bits. And he's on the express. Cami Zubon, you're cleared for takeoff again. All the way through the section and under the lip and an absolute laceration. Cami Zubon is sailing with huge levels of speed. And the judges really reward that. I haven't even been able to think about scores right now. But that seriously was an exchange where Pritchard was in the spot and made the absolute most of that offering. I mean, think about it. 2 separate mast-high lip hit opportunities. It's firing out there, you guys. Firing. And Zubon coming back in, holding on to his chances with that death grip, just white knuckle quivering into the section and just blasts another huge air. Probably not as good as the last look back, but then he backed it up with all those slashy turns. This semifinal is stacked, and it is firing on all cylinders. Here comes KP. Rob, take it away.
Kevin setting up straight off H-Poco point. He's got a nice little right-hander. You know what? He's going to go for it. He's going to backdoor this wave. I thought he might kick out, but he's going to go for this wave. He's got a commanding lead right now, so he's on fire. Comes out, nice floating aerial, nice back in the open face of the wave. It's not going to be as high scoring as his other ones, but I guarantee he's having fun. Nice bottom turn coming off the top. Late hit and powers through it. This is unbelievable. Poor Graham. He's got to watch those last 2 guys hit waves right in front of him.
Graham currently in second place with a front row seat for that exchange. And, they're teammates. And, to a degree, I think, see him rooting. Kevin Pritchard, 8.87 for the double mast-high basher. I mean, he took the baseball bat to that thing. Just clubbed it. Cami Zubon, on a little under than medium-sized wave, is going to give it a shot. He's going to unwind here. Here comes a goiter attempt. Nope, stock air. Not going to really factor in, but Cami's sitting on an 8.03. Cami's right there. In fact, he's nipping at Graham Ezzy's heels. This has become a 3-way battle. Bujma's kind of out of it. He doesn't really have huge scores. His main score hasn't dropped, but unfortunately for Bujma, he just been swinging hard and, strike 1, not quite strike 3, but he's like at 0-2. 2 strikes.
Still plenty of time, though. So Bujma could, all he needs is 2 good scoring waves, and he has the capability.
Absolutely has the capability to win this. If Goalkeeper is going to shine down upon him, we've already seen one of Goalkeeper's favorite sons go down in the semis, that being Levi Cipher. But you know what? Everybody's a gnarly shredder in this draw. Nobody gets counted out, and that's very true for Bujma as well. At the moment, though, it's Kevin Pritchard and Graham Ezzy. And we'll see what they decide to give Cami Zubon here, who's got an 8 in the bag, and he is definitely in the discussion. Cami has been coming back from some pretty big deficits. This is only 1 score. So Cami knows what he can do. 15 entire minutes An eternity. How much has just gone down in the first part of this heat?
Oh, this has been unbelievable. We actually got a competitor here below us on the rocks that was going out for her heat on the next heat. But this heat has been full of action with Kevin going off, Cami going off with those big floaty aerials, landing right in the new open face of the sections. This has been a true joy to watch.
You're all so lucky we can bring this to you back at home, and thank you again, all the sponsors, for chipping in and keeping this live cast on. Great job, live cast team. Everybody, from the judges to the volunteers, thank you for being a part of the 2017 Aloha Classic here. It's a massive battle. It's got 14 minutes left to go. We'll give you some scores when our phones update, but you have seen some fireworks here. Kevin Pritchard's double tagger is just sticking in my mind. He went to the woodshed on that one. Woodshed moment. What can you say about Kevin Prichard, Rob?
Oh, Kevin, he's been just on fire. He's a veteran of this area. He knows this wave like the back of his hand. He knows what spot to be in at a certain point, and he's showing it on this heat because he's extended his lead, I'm sure. And it's been, what a fun heat, like the first one.
We'll keep it kind of taking a break on us right now. We'll keep us going. Okay. We're going to make it a little more suspenseful here. We're going to let these scores play out. We're going to let all the competitors take a breath here. This is definitely an in-between moment. There's no waves. The wind's kind of winding up its coil for the second stanza. It's coming back. But right now, the impact zone's relatively quiet, save for a few female competitors going out for the final. And, it's 13 minutes to go until that happens. All right. We've got updates on the scoring. And Cami Zubon is in second place now with a pair of 8s. He's got an 8.03 and an 8.43 for a heat total of 16.46. Kevin Pritchard in first place. His two highest scores are 8.4 and 8.87. Two riders are approaching. And the wind began to howl. And here comes Kevin Pritchard. Oh, going for the air Taka, and he's possibly got this. Kevin Pritchard's going to pull the sail out of the white water if it's the last thing he does. Oh. Anyway, the woodshed chucked a little wood at him. Here comes Cami Zubon Airlines, clear for takeoff. Happy landings. Happy landings. Please fasten your seatbelts and enjoy the ride from Kahului to Guadalupe nonstop. Are you kidding me, Rob?
What an aerial. That man, he was up there forever. That's like hanging a punt up there, and the guy's just waiting for that fair catch to come down.
Frequent flyer miles for Zubon. And, a one-hit wonder. And you see him going on the high line to the lip, it's like,
he's going to do it.
Okay. All of you at home, pay close attention because it's going to happen again. And he's probably going to do an arch back. It's waiting to happen. Here comes Graham Ezzy on the outside. There he is. Totally capable of getting back in the seat. This is a difference maker set wave here. Up at the green tree, Graham Ezzy winds his bottom turn, gets his momentum started, builds his apparent wind. Nice slashy turn for Graham. Here he comes to the inside section. Graham Ezzy under the lip. Timing is everything. Little bit of body English bobble there. Nothing serious. Really nicely done. And outside of him, Bujma Giol, M3. This is his moment to get back in. Post an 8. And make this a conversation for the final 11 minutes. Here goes Big Bouge. Everybody in Morocco so proud of him, helping organize events in Morocco, a mainstay on this IWT tour, and an absolute ambassador of Aloha, if there ever was one, Rob.
Oh, there is. And Bujma's the funnest guy to be around because he does have that open-air personality of his. He's just always exciting to be, fun to sail with, always having a blast.
Super fun to sail with.
And a ripper.
Yeah, super fun to sail with, and just lifts your spirits up with his smile and his demeanor. He's got a little bit of a mysticism to it, I'll admit. He's seen a lot of things in the world that guys like you and I don't see, living in Morocco and traveling the world. He's a hero in his country. And he's the leader of a legion of young rippers there at Moulay. And can't say enough about him. Great sailor.
Have you sailed there? Have you sailed Morocco?
Yeah, I sailed Morocco about 7 years ago in an invitational contest that was really quite a lot of fun. We were drinking some great Moroccan tea and hanging out at Moulay with the boys. I'd like to say hi to Soufiane and Feta and all the boys. Abdallah. Yes. Morocco isn't really like Maui, though. There are some similarities, but they kind of end in this reef break setup we have here. And on a gorgeous-looking wave is Cami Zubon. This has got high scoring potential. He'll either look at it and no, he's going. Here goes Cami Zubon. Once again, cleared for takeoff. Nice floaty air all the way down to the bottom section, and this is where it's going to get interesting. Unbelievable tag under the lip. You guys, that was the most ferocious hit because Cami can ride smaller boards. He can fit under the lip. And I assure you that when we see any of the pictures from today that Sophie and Fishbowl Diaries might get, that's going to look pretty ridiculous. There goes Graham on a soupy whitewater express train out. Let me tell you, Cami Zubon's hit right there beckoned him to hit it. And he went and hit the thing under the lip. That's kind of like one of the off the lips that I remember seeing when I was sailing Margaret River, and the likes of Pat Redman and Blair Simpson were just going under the lip in front of me. Scotty McKercher, batting lips, straight to Boggo Road, mate. Insane. Cami Zubon might have taken the lead there. We'll see. I think the judges understand exactly what happened there. And that was critical positioning, absolute amplitude and velocity into the lip. Not just the fact that he hit it. The fact that he hit it with the speed and critical. Cami Zubon making his statement to be in this final. Here goes Boujma Guillol. Scraping remnants, but still capable of big things. Big 360 Boujma. Not to be. 8 minutes and 30 seconds left. Rob, our scores. Have we got an update from Cami's big hit? It's coming. His two scores again, 8.03, 8.43. Has he bettered his case? Has he caught Pritchard for first place? We're about to find out. Man, am I glad Cami's on the Simmer team. Here goes Kevin Pritchard, one of my homies, one of my favorite sailing partners. Emails me constantly when I'm in Finland waiting for Cabo Verde to happen. Is it on? Is it on? We're going to have some action later on this year. But right now it's contest time. And here goes KP, vying for his spot in the finals. Winding up his coil as he sails. Starboard signature KP model. Mini tweak. Mini tweak for the level that Kevin tweaks. Not even close to how tweak Kevin gets. Here goes Cami Zubon behind Kevin. Cami Zubon straight up and straight through. Also not going to be of consequence, but he kept some potential contenders off of it. Graham Ezzy behind Cami. There goes Graham Ezzy. This could make a huge difference if he can rotate and get around. Tries to recreate the magic taka he pulled in the super session in Cabo Verde 10 years ago, but not quite. Here goes Boujma Guillol. Rapid fire succession. Gorgeous rail turns. Boujma sticks it down to the point. Now we've got something. Ugh, Boujma, rough heat in the semi, buddy. Still ripping. Just not quite what he's capable of. And to be honest, he's really been on the negative side of these exchanges in terms of the wave selection. Put Boujma on some of the waves that KP and Cami picked up. I'm not saying it's going to be different, but it at least wouldn't be what he ended up having to do on some of these more mediocre type of setups. I mean, my gosh, how are some of the waves that just came in for Cami and KP trading off sledgehammer blows? You know, not just the air game. Sledgehammer blows.
It really sledgehammer blows on all of them, especially Cami and Kevin. They're going to probably advance out of this heat, it looks like, as of this point, but still got plenty of time.
6 minutes, Rob. That's a little early.
I'm having a hard time with my phone keeping scores. I apologize, so our updates are a little bit slow.
Maybe go up to the hill real quick and see if it updates for us, because we're going to get Cami's score.
Okay.
We got to know.
I'll be right back.
Here goes Kevin Pritchard as he sails starboards on a total nugget. This one came in wide. This is one of the best waves of the heat, in my opinion. It's going to peel really nicely and give him the chance to get under the lip again. Pritchard's murdering the point. KP ferociously ripping his way into the finals here. Just a few more waves like this will seal the deal. Probably not his highest score, but just awesome to watch. There goes Graham Ezzy. This is his first move on this set. Graham's lost a little momentum here after his 360. And outside of Graham is Cami Zubon from Guadeloupe representing Simmer Sails. Quattro boards. Longhorn energy drink. Off the bottom there, slashing through the top. Draws a beautiful line. One-handed drag. A little quick, but gets him in position to go through the money zone here. And goes for a late 3 and over-rotated that. Possibly didn't even need it. Rob Funk's scores are updating. We're going to find out what went down here. We've got 4 minutes and 50 seconds left in this heat. Oof. People are taking some donuts in the impact zone. You try a 3 and you miss it, the next wave's going to clean your clock. It's going to recalibrate your compass. What a battle, you guys. Anybody watching right now knows that this is the heaviest wave sailing on the planet going down right now. No question about it. The Arena of the Gladiators, Goalkeeper Beach Park, where we've been competing for the better half of 40 years here now. Unbelievable. And as Bernd Rodinger said so wisely, it's part of the culture. It's part of the culture to hit late lips like the great Malta Simmer and the great Dave Ezzy did back in the day. Late is good. If I eat it, I eat it. I'm still going to be satisfied, they would say. And scores have updated. Kevin Pritchard still in first place with updates pending. I see that Cami is still in second. It's 17.27. There goes Graham Ezzy. Huge uncorked Taka. It's a make. Stamp it. Stamp it, Graham. That was gorgeous. And you needed it. I don't know what the judges can give that because I don't think it was much more than just that. Is it going to get you into second place or first place with the likes of KP and Cami and the antics that we're seeing here? Is it humanly possible to see that much ripping go down in a heat, Rob?
It is very humanly possible because we're witnessing it right now. That was a great hit by Graham, but I think just because there's only one hit and a floater soft one, still going to be a good score for any heat, but look who you got out, who he's against.
Correct. Cami Zubon in second place with a pair of 8.43s. Kevin's got an 8.4 and an 8.8 fixing to his total. I could see things staying pretty much close to the same here unless we really see a differential maker. The level's really high. Now Cami and Kevin know that there's an element of defense that they're playing. And that's what Kevin's doing here. On his Taka 4, Ezzy, starboard signature KP model. Keeping other competitors off the way, but he's still going to ride it. You better believe it. Right there, Kevin Pritchard, 360 with the make. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful 360 for Pritchard. The one move on that wave he makes. Doubtful that it's going to be one of his higher totals unless he can miraculously spin something here. Really well done by Pritchard. And the highlight reel of this contest, like when we had our highlight reel for everything that went down, this contest at the end of the day is going to be remembered, not for the conditions as much, but for the high performance level of the competitors.
That's absolutely true. You got the best in the world right out in front of us, just putting on a show. It's showtime, just like Lakertown. But it is fun to watch. And all of you people watching all over the world, man, I bet you wish you were here seeing it live.
We have the best seat in the house, Rob, other than being out there in the water, which I will be a bit later today. Good sailing here on Maui lately. 10-day hot streak on tap. Whenever you can sail Maui 10 days in a row, it doesn't matter what time of the year it is, but especially this time of the year, you take it. You take it and you rip it and you do what you can with it. And we're almost done with this event. Here goes Cami Zubon. 1 minute to go. In a solid second place, can he take the lead from Pritchard? Cami off the bottom with a lot of projection and a lot of speed. Fitting that little quattro board under the lip. Here he goes. Cleared for takeoff. Zubon Airlines. Don't forget to look back where you came from. God, I'd love to have a GoPro on his head and see what that looked like upside down, floating above the lip with projection like that. Are you freaking kidding me, Rob?
Oh, what a maneuver. An arch back, head bobbing, unbelievably big floating aerial. Good job, Cami.
outstanding sailing by all sailors in this. This has just been a massive battle. And Mana from Heaven providing an absolute canvas for Bujamagiol, who's going to round out his final opportunity in this heat. With 30 seconds, he gets under the crown of the lip as Kevin Pritchard sets up behind him. This is a 1-2 exchange. Definitely Guillaume trying to claw his way back. He's going to need a 10. He's going to need a 20. Here goes Bujma with Kevin behind him. Back on Pritchard, getting that signature board under there. Kevin's got to feel pretty good here. Kevin Pritchard pretty much knows he's in the final here. There he is. Graham Ezzy behind him. There's Graham's first bottom turn. 1 second left. Heat's over. Graham's on this. Beautiful way to end the contest, Graham. No praise, no disgrace for that last move, but all praise for a huge finish for you. Cami Zubon and Kevin Pritchard are going to join Bant Rodinger and Morgan Waro in the final. And we will be back with a special guest after these messages from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're back, and I'm here with Andrew O'Riordan, who's the Maui chapter surf rider head here, as well as admissions for Maui Prep. And these are both, awesome organizations. I'm a member of Surf Rider, proud member, and I recommend anybody who's environmentally conscious to be a part of Surf Rider. We do have the women's final starting, but take me briefly through the various aspects of what you do, Andrew.
Yeah, so Surf Rider, basically, we're working to keep Goalkeeper beautiful. We do all kinds of beach cleanups. We test this water once a month. We actually test 17 beaches from Maliko to Waiehu, just to keep an eye on what's going on out there, turbidity and enterococcus and kind of some, toxic things that we want to keep out. We're also working on Piahi. We got 260 acres out there. The county purchased it, and the county purchased it, and so now we're working on making this a public parkland where all kinds of people can come in and enjoy that preserved space. So, trying to take care of this place so we can watch guys do what they're doing today, which is just, a work of art in a beautiful place with clean water. And
Clean water is important.
Yeah. So, the Maui chapter, we've got a lot of good things going on, and we love people to engage with us and definitely become a member. It makes us stronger when we're advocating for, new policies like compostable, environmentally sound materials, moving just to better products in restaurants and in grocery stores, and in general, preserving the places we love, which are Ho'okipa, Honolua, Ma'alaya, Peahi, really special places that, we want to keep wonderful.
Great, Andrew. Awesome causes, and thank you for stopping by here, right? We got the women's final going. You can stick with me here as I start calling it. We missed one wave of Tatiana Howard. opening score there. And this is Shauna Kropas's first wave. Again, this is the women's final. All the marbles here. We're going to crown a champion after this heat. 25 minutes left to go. Kropas definitely stating her opening salvo here with a better wave behind her with no one on it. So she continues her ride down the point here. Shauna really can separate herself with some aggressive riding here, but also just get on the board with some safer riding, so to speak. Similarly comparable to Tatiana's first wave. We don't have Sarah Hauser yet on a scoring ride, but we do have a bigger set outside. And Hauser's going to go to work on this one. This will actually hit the reef and offer her her first scoring opportunity. Sarah Hauser off the bottom cleanly with her simmer sail and taboo board, goes down, gets hung up in the lip there. We'll probably need to press the reset button on this. Here comes Vickie Abbott on arguably the best exchange so far. That's a gorgeous looking wave running down the point. Abbott off the bottom with a lot of solid drive and a target zone down low below her at H. Poco Point. Tatiana Howard outside of Abbott. Here goes Vickie. There goes Tati. So you have the 1-2 exchange here. Tati's a little bit above Vickie. I can call you through Vickie, who's just kicking out now. Here comes Tati. Will she hit this lip? It's a final. Gasps of anticipation. Not exactly full contact, but also lives to sail another day here. So, Andrew, how was that exchange for you?
I mean, that was epic. Honestly, these girls are just unbelievable. Totally charged. I wish she pulled that. I want to see her keep going on it. But
did leave you wanting a little bit more, didn't it?
Yeah, certainly. But that's coming. That's definitely on the way. These girls, they've got time and incredible conditions, and yeah.
23 minutes left to go in this pivotal battle here for the women. And Sarah Hauser definitely didn't start off on a huge note there. She's water starting in the channel, along with Tatiana, who kind of lost her rig after that last wave exchange there. Vickie Abbott heading out first into the lineup with Shauna Kropas behind her. And I will eventually get scores here for you as we let this play out. But maybe back to the lineup here. You can see the conditions and look really as to what you would like to see come in, depending on where these women are. Everybody has their different approach to sailing here, but the first thing you need to do is actually get out through the channel. 2 sailors have done it. 2 sailors are on their way to it. Sarah Hauser and Tatiana are on the inside. Shauna Kropas and Vickie Abbott slowly making their way out. And with the amount of time that's on the clock here, we'll see exactly where this ends up. And, possibly a really big exchange here. If people had been in the zone, there was lots of offerings here. There's beautiful waves coming in at the point here. And regularly speaking, probably like a good set every 5 to 10 minutes. And right now, this is kind of a result of a little bit of positioning for the 2 competitors who are on the inside waiting to water start in the channel, which is Sarah and Tatiana. Barely enough wind in their sails to get going here while this plays out. This is kind of one of those nail-biter scenarios where there's not a ton of action, but it's all about the tactics. And it's all about the level of positioning, and then ultimately just a little bit of luck. You're going to be in the right place at the right time. That's really going to help your cause. However, you also need to make your own luck. So you need to be in position to get lucky. That's what it boils down to. So just take a look at this lineup here as we slowly let it play out. 21 minutes left to go in this heat. The wind's definitely taken a notch down. Easy to expect this on a squally day like today. And we're definitely in between action here. What are some of the upcoming goals for the Maui chapter, Andrew?
Yeah, so, man, switching from this intense contest action to me talking projects, looks like there's a set coming in, but, the big mission is to keep Ho'okipa and these surrounding lands green and pristine. 20,000 acres cane land just came online last year. And Maui sees some big transitions as commercial agriculture shifts to real estate development, commercial development, new kinds of agriculture. So it's a good time to keep your eyes on what's happening on Maui to ensure that Ho'okipa stays as pristine and magical as it is right now.
We are all stewards of this land, the Aina, and it's great that men like you, Andrew, and women and everybody working to keep the awareness up and to keep Maui's North Shore, the way, you understand that, we don't necessarily need to have high-rise hotels in front of Ho'okipa. There's an ethic that I feel that most of the people who live on this island full-time would like to follow. And I think it's all on course. And it's just important that everybody stay educated about the various things that are happening that we might not know about front row and center. So the more we know, knowledge is power, and we can continue to, see Maui be the beautiful island that it is, allowing people to come here, both visitors and, residents alike. People like Shauna Kropas over 15 years ago, living the dream. And in the final of the women's division, Shauna's second scoring wave here. Nothing too shabby, and is going to, get a second score on the board. It's absolutely still wide open for all these women here. The action has slowed down a little. What happened was we had a little break in the wind, but as if on cue, it's coming back slowly but surely. And Shauna ducks a wave here in front of the rocks. She's out of trouble. There's been a couple of close shaves with the rocks. That's definitely with this north swell direction. You get a lot of situations where you're almost on. And I'm actually surprised we haven't seen more carnage down there. Cipher, Bant Rodinger sailing onto them at the beginning of his semi, which was something I'll be replaying. Awesome. That's Graham Ezzy coming in from his semifinal, and his contest is POW. But, everybody, huge applause for Graham. Lots of respect to this particular individual. Graham, comes from the background of a windsurfing Maui background. But what I want to say about Graham is that he is a well-educated individual who went to Princeton on a scholarship. It's very impressive. And I mean, for the pro wave sailing ranks, one of a kind. He's back on Maui, living in Maui. He's got his 4 years. He's got his degree. And he's an eloquent, very intelligent person on and off the water. And I felt that Graham actually had a really good chance to win this event outright. And moving forward, certainly does. So we're definitely still in an in-between moment here. Andrew, if you want to continue to elaborate on what you're working on, please do.
I actually just want to chime in on Graham Ezzy for a second. Just an amazing guy. He's also a writer, and he's been raising money for a charity in South Africa, pursuing a tour really intensely in Germany, traveling, just a real ambassador for the sport. He also, helps represent a lot of athletes to the leagues to, just really advocate for the athletes who do this beautiful sport. So, yeah, once again, Graham Ezzy, just fantastic performance.
Here we go. An in-between moment has now come into the biggest set in the last 2 hours that I've seen. And Sarah Hauser's on the second one of it. You look at Vickie Abbott, who's on the first wave of this very sizable set wave here. Vickie Abbott heading down the line, trying to check her bearings, kind of figure out where she is on the whole reef line up here. Behind her, as Vickie Abbott gets contact off the lip and floats down, behind her is Sarah Hauser, stating her case. Beautiful turn from Hauser, just lip climbing and very smooth. Sarah Hauser's second turn stance here, beautiful lip snap, and takes the drop. And behind her, as Sarah kicks out, is Tatiana Howard, who kind of kicks out. Looks at that wave and her position on it, kind of a little bit wide, a little bit out of the scoring zone. Here comes Shauna Kropas on the low line. These waves are kind of hard to deal with because they're on the bottom of the reef. So they head straight to the channel. There was a second there where I thought the wind had quit, and we might get a postponement. I don't think we're there yet, but it's kind of hinting at it a little bit. If we were to lose the wind any further, you would see Duncan taking a look at that. With 16 minutes to go, though, Sarah Hauser on the board with her first wave of the final that's going to be of any particular consequence in the scoring department. This has been a bit of a slower heat as a result of the wind dying a little bit. I think Duncan's going to take a good close look at his scorecard here. And you look at the lineup and you look at the women sailing out in it. There's enough wind to keep this going, but it got a little borderline there for a second. You could actually see it as they were riding the waves, kind of that underpowered style, trying to claw into the opportunity. But, it comes to mind that there's only one heat left in this contest after this, and it's done. So stick with us here at the 2017 Aloha Classic, and we're going to bring it to you because we're almost done here. 15 minutes left in this women's final. Let me try and check my scores here. And see where we're at. Jake, can you do me a favor? Punch up the scores on my phone. I'm kind of like phone illiterate right now. You don't know? Is it ridescore.com, I think? I think. There's Morgan Waro, the tip of his hot sail, heading out to his final. The third final in the Aloha Classic that he's been in. Will he make it 3 for 3? He's entirely capable of it. Morgan's having a great contest. Not quietly making it through anyways, making his statements known, making his presence felt. Combing the outside, Neil Pride, starboard, Tatiana Howard, who I get a feeling is in the lead here. She is definitely having a great contest. Tatiana Howard's on a beautiful wave. Only befitting of someone of her caliber. Begins her ride, kind of safely crisscrossing across it, trying to get to the point where she can loosen up and get a little more rad. Behind her is Sarah Hauser. There goes Tatiana off the bottom again as Sarah sets up. Tatiana's wave is going into the channel. One more check turn, she's done. Here goes Sarah Hauser. Very important for her heat here. Square off the bottom, Hauser. Beautiful cutback right in the critical part of the wave. You notice that Hauser rides a smaller board and can ride more critically as a result. That's a second very strong turn for Hauser. Third exchange, and she just guts out that cutback. 3 turns, and the first one was a really nice one. I'm going to go as far as to say that that's Sarah's best wave of her heat with 13 minutes to go. You know, that's a big moment for Sarah. Take me through how you felt her approach was, Andrew, just, you know, casually.
Yeah, I mean, that was just radical. It was fast. It was right in the pocket. I mean, she was just flying through every maneuver. You know, that small board's allowing her to do that, but just really, yeah, equipment, surfer, wave, all came in the perfect sync on that wave. So just making a statement in this heat, which is, you know, the final. So that's what we want to see.
Exactly. We want to see people rise up to the occasion here. Women's final is a women's final, and that's what you're going to need to raise your level to the very top of your riding ability. Tatiana Howard is in first, a pair of 7s. And it's definitely playing out here. We don't have Sarah Hauser's score. Wave number 2 was a 7.93, and her next score is about to drop, you guys. Sarah Hauser currently in 4th place, but not for long. Shauna Kropas on a super nice wave on the outside as we wait for these scores. This whole heat's playing out. But the offerings here are really significant. Shauna Kropas on the inside, and Vickie Abbott has a window maker opportunity on the outside. This is a big exchange here. Sarah Hauser front row seat for it. She's cringing. She really wants to be on one of these. Shauna Kropas approaches the lip line that's going to give her the doorway to the point. Proceeds to go down the line in a safe manner. Vickie Abbott's wave's kind of a chaser. This one might not have ended up to be the pure scoring opportunity that I thought, because it's walling up really fat, and it's baiting Vickie to chase it to the point, and then she sees through it. But not before she understands that she's got to basically get out of it. Look what happened there, Andrew. And it was a really interesting sequence of that. She got baited to chase it, and the wave just ran right under her. And quite honestly, advantage Hauser right there, because she can get out there now and not have to suffer from that exchange at all. Not at all. She's intact here. And we've got 11 minutes left. Rob Funk, you've got your scores up. Maybe we can pull Rob Funk back up here, actually. Thank you, Andrew, for joining. And we've got your clip on rotation here during commercials. So awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, great job. You're doing awesome. I don't know if you can tell at home, but he's calling an amazing, amazing contest. That's hard work. So keep up.
Thanks a lot, Andrew. Aloha. Okay, joining me now is Grandmaster Funk. And joining me for the men's final is going to be none other than Robbie Nash, who I see sitting down with his daughter there. So you guys are in for a treat here. Let me tell you, you're in for a treat. Okay, scores updating. Ladies and gentlemen, in first place in this heat with 10 minutes to go, Sarah Hauser has claimed the lead. She has a 7.93 and an 8.53. The judges are clearly rewarding Sarah for her ability to turn in the critical part of the wave, which might seem relatively underspoken if we just watch it. You watch it on slow-mo and you see where she's putting her board, you'll understand why the judges are rewarding her for it. And this is also playing out in the men. You've seen it work for Cami Zubon as well. Scores updating as Tatiana Howard on the first wave of a pretty big set exchange gets on her horse and heads down to the point with a wall rearing up in front of her. But unfortunately for Tati, the momentum's kind of not going in her favor right now. And she really didn't benefit from selecting the first wave of a set. Here comes Sarah Hauser opting out of what would have been a pretty decent scoring opportunity, but also playing it smart, realizing that there's 9 minutes and 30 seconds left in this. And she's going to watch Vickie Abbott get another crack at it. Vickie Abbott definitely doing her cause a lot of good here with this wave. It's going to make up for that wave that ran fat in the channel. Nice turn from Abbott, who's also riding critically, but maybe in the flatter portion of the wave sequence. This heat right now is between Hauser and Howard. And that's a battle we've seen before. And I will elaborate that briefly. Here goes Shauna Kropas, who actually wound up her apparent wind really expertly there. Off the left fade to put power in her sail and drive down the line.
Hit it, Shauna, hit it. Oh, nice little aerial, but she's kind of spun out of the bottom. So she's going to be ending that little waves selection there. As we have leading in front is Sarah Hauser, Vickie Abbott in second. Oh, I'm sorry. Who's
Tati in second.
Tatiana Howard in second, Neil Pride Sales, and Vickie Abbott's in third, with Shauna Corpus back in the back of the pack at number 4 in this heat. But it's still got plenty of time left in this heat for them to make up.
Sorry to grab the mic from you. Give me the mic. Was there anything else you wanted to add, Rob?
No, that was pretty much it. You grabbed the mic.
Thank you. Here we go. It's everything to play for here. I have too much fun up here, you guys, and it's about to get really, really, really cool up here. I can't wait to call this final with Robbie. Now, Sarah Hauser is in the lead, 3 waves ridden. It's kind of been her mantra at this event. But the thing also about Sarah right now, with 8 minutes to go, she owns the lineup. She is alone out there. Let's pan out to Sarah because she's setting up on something pretty nice. Yeah, let's get those scores updated. Let's stay up to date here with what's going on. Sarah Hauser on her Simmer Blacktip and her Taboo board, absolutely on an offering here that's going to allow her to go all the way up to Green Trees and set up this ride. She's above the judging. Here goes Hauser. And she's going to ride this, and she's on the express train. This has got a beautiful line on it. Sarah off the bottom, really looking good with her first target hit, and she kind of just guts out that one. It's almost kind of a repeat of that other lip hit, except for the fact that there's a bigger wave behind that's probably going to drop on top of her. Maybe, maybe not. She just skates over it. Oh, man, you missed that at home. But that was the windsurfing equivalent of a duck dive.
And she's there. She got her stuff up. Yeah, that was the equivalent. You do want to send your stuff as deep as possible on that because you got 8 feet of whitewater coming right on your head. And so it's not a good feeling, and you're helpless when you're sitting there. As you get pounded, you're hoping your stuff doesn't get torn apart. And usually it doesn't because you're hanging on to it pretty well. So here we are sitting with the 6.5 minutes left in this heat. How's my phone working? Is it still updating?
Your phone's working great, but I'm the Simmer team captain, and I'm just gripping right now. This is so awesome, you guys. The Aloha Classic coming down to the penultimate day here, and just our top female rider, Sarah Hauser, in a position to win this thing right now, and just needs to hang on and just gut this out and have faith in her ability to choose the right waves and then do what she can do on them. She hasn't really sailed outside of her ability in this heat, but as compared to that huge lip hit she tried in a semi, which made the paper.
Oh, great shot of her in the Maui News today. If you guys can look that up on the Maui News, it's a great shot of Sarah going vertical and just smacking this lip.
And it was, not a huge score, but it was a massive statement, Rob.
How many guys wouldn't even attempt to hit that? She was on fire on that one. That's what's so impressive about Sarah. She is not afraid of just smacking that lip and going through.
Credit due to the other women finalists. I want to talk about Vickie Abbott and her journey here. And she's been on a long road to this final. Vickie moved to Maui, within about 2 or 3 years ago, and has become a fixture at Goalkeeper, one of the more bright, engaging personalities you'll ever have the pleasure to meet and sail with. And she's an absolute animal in the water. What can you say? She's got point-break knowledge from her years of sailing Cabo Verde, where I've shared several very memorable sessions with her as well. Vickie Abbott definitely belongs in this final. Shauna Kropas, her first final ever, and absolutely deserves it and should be right where she is as well. She has clawed her way into contention here, and it's not over yet. But what I want to say about Shauna is she's also, a fixture here at the beach. Love her style. She's always got a smile on her face, and she's fun to sail with. She's not one of those super gnarly grinders. And we'll talk about Tatiana in a second because she deserves a huge amount of praise too. As Sarah Hauser really setting up on a wave that's going to allow her to just get the bottom turn flow and cut back style with downwind momentum. She's going all the way downtown here, guys. There goes Sarah Hauser on the high line, express to the point with Tatiana behind her, but not before Sarah gets up under this lip and absolutely with huge levels of criticalness saves that ride. Now, Tatiana Howard, the butterfly queen herself. Neil Pride, starboard, trying to win this event and absolutely capable of it. Tatiana's got kind of what I would consider a little more of a friendly style. She's kind of bubbly and gets around the sections with a level of aggression, but not necessarily the same Ginzu knife-like precision of Hauser. There's a difference. Now, Tatiana and Sarah had this battle in Morocco where Sarah was in first place, and Tatiana beat her twice to win that final. Kind of a different situation than this right now, as Shauna Kropas begins her bid to win this event with 3 minutes left in it. And Shauna's definitely ripping this wave, cutting it up. Kropas, sharp as a knife. And behind Kropas is Vickie Abbott. There goes Abbott. Critical positioning. She's got to acquire a target here. Up into the lip, nice little skippy skip, pretty critical. Not the full rail in the side of the wave though. And Hauser's last ride, when she climbed into that lip section, it was super critical, Rob.
Oh, was it ever. Again, like the paper shot, she's charging it. She's not afraid to get up there in critical spots and pull through. She just knows her board so well and the spot of the wave she was in, and she handled that like anyone can. That's really, really good.
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to be when we're counting scores. It might be. It might very well be. The important thing, Rob, is that it also solidified the fact that nobody else is going to get on that. Sarah's playing for keeps here, you guys. 2 minutes left in this. Sarah Hauser, who won the single elimination last year at the Aloha Classic, waited an entire week for them to get to the point where they were going to run the double elimination on the final day with very different conditions. Very at times questionable, but Sarah Quito Afringa deserves credit for the 1-2 punch right to the gut. And Hauser handled it really well. And Sarah Quito Afringa is a gnarly competitor, and Sarah knows that. And that was a battle last year where Sarah just didn't necessarily have the extra jump in the bag and the other things that might have been required in that situation. Sarah's game is wave riding in down-the-line waves and perfect waves, and that's what we have in this final. And we have 1 minute and 30 seconds left. And it's definitely between Sarah and Toddy now. With a narrow margin, but a pretty decent margin because Sarah's score drops in. It's at 8.6. Now she's got a pair of high 8s. Here goes Tatiana Howard, Neil Pride, and starboard with a minute left. Everything on the line. Here's Howard. Not going to play it safe this time. Beautiful bottom turn from Tati. Putting every single inch of that rail in the wave. Tati opts out of the contact. I heard a couple judges go, oh! And Tatiana might have just signed off her bid. She's going to be on the podium. But with 53 seconds left and a set wave to boot on the outside. Mana from Heaven providing here. Sarah Hauser with 45 seconds left and counting. She's going to get a final stab at this score. She's also going to let Vickie Abbott have a wave on the outside. Here goes Sarah Hauser. 30 seconds left in this heat. She's got the lead, and she's got a nugget set wave. As we watch Shauna Kropas, let's pan to Hauser. Kropas is at the end of the channel. There's Hauser. Textbook bottom turn. Letting her eyes lead the way. And here comes Sarah with a huge section to hit. She's going to hit it. Kabam! Sarah Hauser making a statement. 10 seconds left, you guys. Vickie Abbott, let's count it down because I think we've just crowned our 2017 Queen of Goalkeeper with a huge set on the head. I would like to congratulate Sarah Hauser on winning the Aloha Classic. Yes!
What a great heat. Good job, Sarah, Toddy, everyone in that heat. Vickie Abbott and Shauna Korpus, they were excellent. What a great final. It was very, very close. Sarah did step up. She is our new Queen of Goalkeeper. I'm going to sit out here now because Kai's going to have another excellent guest come on and sit in my spot and finish out the last men's final.
Thank you, Rob Funk. Called a great event, buddy.
Thanks, right?
Dodgers will win the World Series next year. Or the year after. Not. Anyway, let's go to commercial here, and we'll bring you the men's final here at the 2017 Aloha Classic. How you like that? Joining me is the legend himself, US 1111 Robbie Nash, and also a recent inductee in the Sailing Hall of Fame. Robbie, welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Good to be here. Thanks, Kai. Been watching you on TV and thought I'd come down and see the end of the event with these awesome conditions. Yesterday was sick. Today's great. So.
Let's call this final. Cami Zubon begins it. We're in this. He gets a skying aerial to kind of jump the section a little bit here. And Robbie, Cami's got some frequent flyer miles.
He does. He's sailing really well. I mean, not that he hasn't been the last few years, but there he goes again. Big air, nice tweak. I mean, definitely making the most of a wave that didn't look like a very good wave, but that was some points there. Yeah,
how's the fact of some of these riders, I would mention that Bant Rodinger, your rider, can turn a wave that most people wouldn't even get a 3 on into a 10.
Yeah, maybe not a 10, but, you know, in a lot of events, even if you look at surfing, you know, outside of windsurfing, a lot of the scoring is based on the wave that you take. You know, if you take the best wave of a set and you ride it reasonably well, you're probably going to get a better score than someone that took a smaller wave. And so it's really an art to be able to turn points on a wave that isn't necessarily a great wave like that. That was a great example of really making the most of what's available, where other guys can take a big wave and kind of ride in front of it and not really maximize it and still get a really good score. The ticket is getting a really good wave and then, you know, giving it 100%.
Did you see the semi?
I saw part of it. I was trying to get parking down here. Unfortunately, parking at Goalkeeper is not what it used to be in the old days. So
certainly
3 tries going around to finally get a spot.
Well, anyway, the point being that semi was one of the heaviest battles I have ever seen out here, and it had a lot to do with hitting big lips. We're getting back to what Bant called the culture of what we do out here. And why don't I let you take Kevin Pritchard's first scoring wave? Here we go.
I think Kevin's got a good one coming. Real wide. It may shut down sort of on the end towards the channel. And a lot of the waves today are real north, that real nice flowy, but then some of them are kind of shutting down like this. He'll get one good hit. Boom. Typical Kevin, down the line, aerial, tons of power and tons of speed. He'll get one more hit.
Morgan Waro right behind him here already went to town on this. This is a massive 1-2 exchange to start this. These are the 2 best waves that have rolled in. It kind of, Cami's performance in the scoring factor as Morgan goes one-handed and landed and heads on into the channel. And that exchange definitely was fairly even. I mean, Kevin got 2 big bashes. Morgan maybe on a lesser wave. It had a little bit more performance factor. And watch out for the rocks, buddy.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, Kevin obviously had the bigger wave, got a couple of really good hits. But, you know, Morgan was milking his definitely from a higher performance standard, but the wave wasn't as good. So those scores are probably going to be pretty similar.
Here we go. Cami Zubon right off the point, punching his signature bottom turn, kind of the high boom style riding where you see him hang a lot, but it also gives him a lot of projection because here's a section cleared for takeoff. Cami Zubon all the way down, cleared the entire section as if he was riding a couch. It was just a soft landing. Bam! Tags the section. A little underpowered. Kind of lost the wind right under there, Robbie, but definitely hit it. I mean, what do you do when the wind kind of bobbles you right when you're critical? I mean, there's a testimony that he even made it.
Yeah, there's not much you can do there. I mean, Goalkeeper's kind of changed over the last several years as the parking lot trees upwind of the point here have grown. It's made a bit of a wind shadow right on the inside, right in the impact zone that we didn't have 20 years ago or even 15 years ago. So you'll find guys having a little bit of wind off the beach, get right into the impact zone. There's a big wind shadow there, and then the wind picks up outside the peak, and it does some weird things to you sometimes, depending on the wind direction. That one just didn't quite have enough projection, got one hit, and that was the end of the wave. So right now he needs some more scores. I'd say Cami is in the lead at the moment, really tight between Kevin and
Kevin and Cami definitely have some of the better exchanges here. 22 minutes.
Morgan and Kev pretty close right now.
Morgan and Kevin, excuse me. Cami also, you know, look, depending on how you're rewarding the long, floaty air, I think they want to see the critical riding mixed in with that too. The length of ride is not being prioritized here.
Yeah, I mean, this is, and they said they were going to be scoring that way. They want to see critical moves. They want to see you go for it. So, you know, if you look at that semi, for example, Lenny had amazing waves, a lot of great top-to-bottom riding, but was lacking the air, any sort of tricks, and I think that's the reason he ended up 4th, you know, just being a little too conservative, riding a little bit too much the way I would in those conditions maybe.
Wave selection too, though.
Yeah, wave selection. You know, it's, again, when you got 4 guys out there, where you sit in the rotation of guys, sometimes you can end up in a heat where 3 sets come through, and you somehow got the worst priority on all 3 sets. You know, it just kind of depends where you line up. And when it's light wind like this, you can't really move around much. You sometimes are just stuck with where you are. And, you know, if you're in the middle or you're the back, the front waves are the best ones. You lose out. If you're the first guy in rotation, you take the first wave of the set, and the next ones are even better, you lose out. So,
well, here's your rider, Bant Rodinger. Why don't you take it away, Robbie, at the point?
We'll see what he does with it. It's at least at the end, it's not going to shut down like that last one. Nice performance size on it. Nice goiter. He can do those now with his eyes closed. It's amazing.
I think his eyes were closed. He's in that cerebral state. And, you know, like, here's the thing. Like, maybe you missed there wasn't like a gasps and groan with the people watching. I hope the judges haven't gotten immune to it also, because it was a very radical move and he performed it perfectly. But it's maybe the 4th one he's made. Do you think the judges kind of descale it after a while?
I would hope not, but
Right.
you know, especially if you got it to the point where you're that consistent. Cami's got a good one here.
Cami's got a really good one. Cami will keep you guessing a little bit as to what his line is, but he's going to get the speed, winds up his apparent win, full wrap, awesome spray off the top. Here comes Cami right at the point with a goiter of his own, lands in the pit, but the wind just goes nah.
Yeah, it's hard to do when you've got a vacuum where you're landing. Really good attempt, made it perfect, just had no wind in his sail landing. So
A vacuum is a good way to put it. 1-2 exchange coming up. Morgan Waro on the first wave here. Plants his bottom turn. You can tell the wind's not giving him the normal projection. It's going to turn it a little bit more into board riding status. Morgan up and under the lip, though, with one more opportunity to get under there and hit it. That's probably Morgan's close to best score. Outside of him, Kevin Pritchard. Big skying air for KP just... Now you can tell the momentum with KP. That's the kind of wave he likes. Connect the dots a little bit, get under that thing at the point, and sledgehammer blow. Not like the last heat, but still pretty impressive. Scores are kind of trickling in here. Yeah, Morgan with his first wave, 8.6, Robbie. Definitely a very high score, and that leads me to believe that he's looking at something pretty nice coming. And I can't really move or scroll here, but Cami Zubon temporarily, at least, in first place. This is going to change a whole lot of times throughout the course of this heat. But the thing that is kind of playing into, as if on cue for any final, with 19 minutes to go, of course the wind's kind of starting to drop a little.
well, you got three guys just trying to make their way out. Cami's stuck in the channel, Kevin's stuck in the channel. Looks like Morgan came in and got a bigger sail, switched, and then you got Barrett out the back by himself. It's going to be a while before all these guys get back into the lineup, so you can sit and you can sing a song or something.
We'll hold off for that. Catch my breath at least, and try to reflect here, Robbie, on over 30 years of competition at Goalkeeper. I mean, between the two of us, we've definitely sailed a lot of these and been to a lot of them, and just the state of windsurfing in general with the IWT Tour here happening and the PWA. It seems to me to be a very harmonious thing at the end of the day with this serving as a PWA qualifier. Your thoughts on that?
I mean, it would have been nice to see all the best guys out here, to see the whole crew of PWA guys out in these conditions. I know they wanted to be here as well, but hey, this is a good compromise at least. There wasn't enough money to meet the sanctioning criteria of PWA, but the guys that were able to get in are pretty stoked, and hopefully next year we can continue to pull some momentum and put it back together. Main thing is more events, especially in these conditions. Windsurfing is... Oh, here's a good one that Bant's got. If he can get a little wind to get into it, he's going to have a good hit under it. Just a little underpowered, just not getting the projection he needs. This is my kind of conditions. This is Robbie putt-putt, big Goalkeeper. I love this stuff. But these guys normally want a little more power in their sails. They want to use a small sail, have, not much power in it. I like to always have power in my sail, and I love this stuff. So do you, where we can get out and kind of be the only guys moving out there sometimes.
Probably the only two guys with uphauls dangling from their booms too, like a big bottom turn, boing, boing, boing. Classic stuff, Robbie. And yes, you're definitely the master in understanding and interpreting the conditions. I think what's become really in vogue in terms of the board and sail combination, these guys like to ride a little bit of a bigger board and a little bit of a smaller sail to enhance that surfy style. But it's kind of backfiring in this situation. You've definitely got the apparent win in your favor, but you don't have the ability to turn a scrap into a score.
And just project. I mean, that's why Kevin ends up doing so well in this event. Seemingly the last few years, there always ends up being nice, big surf, a little bit north, which doesn't have a lot of push to it. And he rides bigger boards and bigger sails. He's really comfortable doing that. And, he may not have the, diversity of tricks in his bag, the speed, but he knows how to put it together, and he knows how to do it in a heat, and he's always moving. He's got a, he'll be out there in a 5.8 if he has to be, where most of these guys, their biggest sail's like a 4.5, I think. I'll be out there on a 5.0, and half these guys are on 4.1s, Planing is a thing of the past, and I still want to get jumps now and then and be moving around. I don't want to be just stuck in one spot.
Yeah, our generation, jumps were counting. And I remember that, there were contests where it was really legit, but there was also moments when you had to count that forward on the outside, and that was a little burnt,
Yeah, we usually, adjust the scoring to it, though, right? Like waves times 4, jumps times 1, so, you weren't going to lose based on a bad jump, for example.
That's true. Here goes Cami Zubon with an empty wave on the outside. No, I think Rodinger has snapped that other one up. What's this going to offer Cami? He's kind of behind the peak here. Wind comes back as if on cue, right through the heart of that. Gets a bit of a punch tweak, nothing too severe. Definitely keeping his scoring momentum going. Let's check scores if we get the chance. Cami, though, and stanza with a good little end statement there. I mean, Cami just bashed that end section. It came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I would have done that. You got to remember only the 2 best waves count. And if you've already got good waves and you see something like that come in and you're the first guy out there and you've got priority, if I were him, I would have waited for a set, because that clearly, no matter what he did on it, wasn't going to be one of his best 2 waves. So I would have waited and, you know, hung out back and tried to get a set to increase my already good points. That's what, and a lot of the viewers might not know. It doesn't matter if you get 10 decent waves in a heat. Only your 2 best scores are counting. So all these little ones in between, you could be on the beach having a Red Bull if you wanted to, and then go back out and get another one. They don't really count. There's no overall impression score. You just need those 2 good scores. So the guy that's patient can get the 2 good ones and really put them together in the heat is the guy that wins. The 3rd score, 4th score, doesn't matter.
Heavy battle on the scorecard here. 8.3, 6.23 for Pritchard. He's in first place with 14.53. Cami Zubon nipping at his heels with a heat total of 14.17, 7.5, and 6.67 combining. And, you know, the way Cami's riding these smaller waves and the way I've seen the judges reward vertical riding, it's not out of the question that he might get that 7.04 that he needs to be in first place. It's very narrow, Robbie. Yeah. It's really close.
He just needs to do that on a bigger wave.
Yes.
You know, that's, you know, Kevin's got that old dog smarts of sitting out back and waiting for the set, waiting for the one in the set that's going to line up and give him, you know, some projection down the line. So if Cami was doing that same kind of riding on one of the major sets, you know, he'd definitely be ahead right now.
He's on a nice one. He's definitely picking out some gems here at the point. Kevin Pritchard's right behind him, pacing him. Morgan Waro needs a second score. His high score is an 8.6, but his low score is a 5.33. Here goes Cami Zubon on kind of more of a wave of what you were talking about, Rob. Vertical contact there. And here he is under the lip getting, Ooh, that was groans from every single judge. Like, could you have hit that? Maybe you should have, but he bobbled that scoring opportunity. That was
still the best wave of the heat. You know, Kevin isn't going to offer much. He's going to have to race it down the line and probably kick out. And now Morgan as well. He's got, you know, a good lineup, but it's half the size of those last waves. So
here goes Morgan, able to do it, matriculating a score somehow, making contact. Not going to be better than a 5.3, I don't think. Cami just needs a high 7 to get in the game, even a low 7, more than 7.04. It's extremely, extremely close. Kevin's lowest score is a 6.2. He can better that very easily. I don't think I've seen Cami really reach his true potential here, and it's going to be a matter of time before we get the setups. Time being 12 minutes and 50 seconds left in this heat. Wow, it's gone kind of quickly, Robbie.
Yeah, enough to get a couple more sets, though. Barron's out the back waiting. Like, all 3 of those guys' waves probably were better off being left. You know, I would have just waited for a better set probably, especially when it's this light and it takes you so long to get around and get into position. You know, if a set came right now, all 3 of these guys would be out of the lineup. So got to be patient, you got to be smart, and in these conditions, to a certain degree, you got to be lucky. Again,
exactly.
In the right place at the right time when a set comes in, because you're not planing, you're not able to move around very quickly. So
the way I interpret that, Robbie, is that you also need to put yourself in position to be lucky. And it means that you read it a little bit more like a surfer right now. Now, Bant is famous for this. And I remember the first time he won the Aloha Classic. He's sailing right where he is now and waiting. And, you know, whether he's getting signals from coaches or whatever else is happening, he's waiting for that difference maker set to come in. And you see guys do this in the surfing too, where, you know, you might let a bunch of waves go through the lineup, but you're also keeping your position. There's a line that gets drawn out there, Robbie, and Bant's the furthest guy out, and he's sitting there and waiting and basically trying to pace his choice of waves when it happens, when that sequence happens. Broad north swell here. The best waves are kind of coming right above the point and reeling all the way through with multiple scoring opportunities on them. Kevin Pritchard now is going to comb the inside because he's trying to erase that lower score. I don't think he's really listening to you in terms of like not riding waves. You always want to keep moving. It's really hard to resist. I'm sure you can relate, especially with your level of mobility, Robbie. But Kevin definitely kicked out of that one and is going to go back outside.
Yeah, that was definitely not a taker. The problem is now he's got 4th priority out of those guys. So, you know, he's got to be lucky and hope that he can get all the way back out back before the next set. You know, Barrett, he was in position. Now everybody else is out there, so it really was to no advantage to him waiting for a set because nothing came. So those guys, all three, got a little wave, at least tried to put some points on the board. Didn't, but now they're back out there. So
Ben's been playing it pretty savvy. Yesterday, Robbie, in his quarterfinal bid, he just popped off this ridiculous Arataka, and he's repeated that move. And, you know, I don't think the judges are lowering the scale, but he's got a good one now. And if you look at the line on this, Robbie, he's above, right where I was talking about. Look at the lower part of the wave. So this is going to offer a connection opportunity.
If you can get down there. Problem is, you know, when it's light like this, sometimes you can't get around the North Peak and get down to that West Bowl. So if he can get going, he'll make it and could get some good score. Maybe a little too deep. No, it was just a little too deep.
Bashing it late, hair flying.
Though Camille's got a really good one behind him if he can get down there, and it looks like he's got the speed to get around the section. Big goiter.
Oh my goodness.
Annihilated, but that was awesome.
That was awesome. We love watching it up here. And Robbie, you know, you and I, with the level of experience we have in competition, look at a situation like that where, yeah, Cami's making a statement both in the fact that that might kind of appear to be like he's really trying to desperately get in this heat. What he really needed to do there was just hold water. He kind of emptied his chamber on that one.
It was good to see, though. You know, you don't want the young guys to be conservative like the old guys. You want to see them just throw down, and if they've been doing their homework and practicing, they're going to make it. Like he would have made that if it was just a tiny bit more wind. He just didn't project far enough, landed. If there was a tiny bit of power in the sail, he would have pulled out, and that's awesome. You know.
Yeah, that's what we want to see. Very true.
But then you got Kev out back now by himself. He's going to get this good set again and probably throw another big number on the board.
This is definitely a sizable set behind the wave you see breaking. Kevin Pritchard, last year's Aloha Classic champion, tooth and nail battle all the way to the wire in the sudden death final against Brazinho. You know he's gnarly. Here he goes. This is a total keeper in my book. It's
whitewater on it, though. So.
Kevin Pritchard bats it vertical. The wind's definitely shut down a little bit, but this is a nice glassy wave. I mean, Kevin has the ability to pull a 3 on it, and the end section, maybe it will be his second best score. But he's going to opt for more kind of a traditional surfy line, cruise down the point, keep other competitors off the wave. You know, doing the math as much as he can is going to help him, but he might need to have somebody tell him that he's in fact in second place in this heat now. Cami Zubon stealing the lead from Pritchard, and he's in first place, Robbie, by 0.4. So the scoring breakdown, Cami's got 2 keepers, 7.43 and a 7.5. Kevin Pritchard sitting on an 8.3 and a 6.23, and I believe there's some more scores, but the question being, are they over that 6.23? Kevin Pritchard remains in second place here on my scorecard. Bant Roedinger scores 8.3 and a 6.13. Bant's one big score away, and Morgan's one big score away. Right, and here goes Morgan Waro. Cami Zubon with a big tweak, not to be outdone as Morgan sets up his ride. Cami Zubon tries a 3, doesn't make it. Morgan, big floater on the peak. Just into your screen now, Morgan Waro continuing on what is probably going to be his second highest scoring wave if he can really push the level here. Outside of him is Bant Roedinger. This is a big exchange, guys. Good job to pan to Bant. Morgan's just signing something in the channel. Here comes Bant Roedinger, the samurai, off the bottom. Nash sails and boards. Big goiter. You could see it coming. Bant goes kabam, and this is the moment he was waiting for. That's why he was waiting outside, Robbie. He wanted to do that. And while the second half of that wave wasn't as spectacular, I can't call 10 on it. I can definitely say that's his second best score. And it's video game stuff with him.
Yeah, that was probably the highest scoring wave of the heat, or at least close to it, you know, because they at least landed it absolutely clean. It wasn't a fizzle out of the whitewater goiter, and then had a couple of good turns on the end. So that was well calculated. That's what they want to see. They want to see you go for it, but they want to see you make it. You know, it's that or what Kevin was doing, which was conservative, hitting it, surfing really, really well, but not taking the risk, for example, that Camille was with his, where you get into it and give it 100%, you either make or you break. So it's interesting. You know, it's good to see the different contrast in style. Interesting to see if that wave of Barents, you know, brings him up a bit. It should.
It should. Let me see if it updates. In the meantime, though, just to, you know, think about how patient he was to wait for that moment, to get to that point in the heat where he could actually try what he tried. And it's not lost on Bant that he knows what he can do. But I think he also might have been thinking the way you were, like, actually to do it on a good wave. And
the thing is that a lot of times guys have a move in their head, and they're going to try it no matter what the wave is offering. And that's where they get that little skizzle, not enough projection, and kind of fall in. It's being patient enough to surf the wave for what the wave offers. You know, if it's a hit wave, an aerial, you know, you can't make something come out of what's not really there. I mean, you can to a degree, but it's forcing it. And it's nice to see guys ride a wave where they're really doing like what the wave is asking them to do in each section.
Prichard punches a section, goes for his version of a rotational move, which he's got in the bag. He's got that. He's got the upwind 360 down. And, you know, credit to Prichard for even having that in his bag. Now, upwind of him is Cami Zubon in a proper zone where I think you and I like to be, Robbie. We love it up there at Green Trees. Here goes Cami. Nice big basher. Lets the tail slide. Lip offering second target opportunity. This is good speed and flow here. Every turn's deserved another one. It's not the biggest wave. It's not the best wave. But
we'll be able to milk it all the way to the channel. So.
All the way to the channel. Here goes Zubon. Can he pull a maneuver on this? Just a standard, nice little slashy turn. Gets the fins out. Judges like it. You never know what they're going to truly reward it. This could go a lot of different ways here as far as the judging scale goes. But now, with 4 minutes and 30 seconds only left in this, Goalkeeper is offering up. Yeah, Morgan and Ban are going to get back into the conversation here. And everybody's got a high score. It's just who's going to back it up with what. Man, this is going to be heavy to follow. Here's Brent Rodinger on the outside. Morgan Waro on your screen. Hot Sales, JP Boards, getting his target acquired. Here he is, drawing his turn. Mid-face bottom turn, going for the goiter, makes the goiter, and has another section to hit. This is pure danger here. Morgan Waro, floaty, off the top. Panda Brent Rodinger, who makes full contact, G-forces included, up and under the lip there. This is a massive battle. And Bant Rodinger already in the lead here.
I'd say these two guys just pulled themselves from the back of the field to the front of the field in that last two-wave exchange. So there's more waves coming out the back, so we'll see.
Robbie, I think you might be right. I think there's been a bit of a differential made here. And the fact that what Kevin's doing to get a mid-8, you know, and he's trying to back it up, but his scoring scale is going 8.3, 6.23, 5.9. His trajectory is going the other way, whereas Cami, Morgan, and Bant, their trajectory is going up. And it's very close between Morgan and Bant now. 16.77 and 16.54, the difference between first and second place. Robbie, your guy's in first.
It's good. He deserves it. I mean, any one of these guys can win. Kevin's proved that, you know, I mean, he's now a veteran. He used to be one of the young guys, kind of like you, but he's a veteran now, and he's in the final of this every year. I mean, he shows that experience, you know, he's keeping up. He's got all the tricks. He's got the wisdom, but he's also got, you know, today's riding style in his bag. But any one of these guys can win it, and it'll come down to the last few minutes for sure.
And we are in the
another good one right here.
We are in the last few minutes here. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Cami Zubon needing to make a difference here, sitting in third place in this heat right now with a score pending, can add to his total here big time. With Kevin Pritchard outside of him, 1-2 exchange coming up here. Cami Zubon setting up, clear for takeoff. Bam, with a huge late entry to that off the lip as Kevin Pritchard sets up. Keep it on Cami. Second vertical tag. That was pretty impressive. Here goes Kevin Pritchard. Vertical bash. Nice floaty air and the nice part of H. Poco Point right in front of him. First wave mowed the lawn for him, so to speak. There goes Kevin Pritchard into the channel. Really looking good. And Morgan Waro, the silent assassin, just reloads his chamber and heads back out. This is now the nitty-gritty of it. Big time moment in this heat, Robbie. 1 minute and 41 seconds. Good thing we're not judges, but we have definitely had a front row seat for this. And I can't really tell you right now exactly what would happen if this was the end.
I think that may have moved Camille up one. I don't think that's going to move Kev up. It was a great wave, but he just didn't, you know, get himself into the right spot after that first hit. I think the judges are going to be watching that. What do you do after the first big hit? And his wave, although it had a really nice down-the-line projection, he just wasn't quite in the right sync with it, I think. So that wasn't going to be one of his big scores. 2 more good scores out the back, I think, right now, if these guys can get them before the end of the heat.
1 minute to go, and possibly one of the biggest sets of the final coming in. This is a huge exchange, Robbie. Thank you for joining us for this. Everybody at home, you're just so privileged to witness this awesome display.
The first one, and Bant's going to get the second one. So both really good waves coming down the point with a lot of wall. So looks like Morgan's may close out on him though. A little bit too much west on it. Boom.
Oh, Morgan splats his off the lip as Bant Rodinger out the back crushes the lip under the lip. This is the difference maker for Rodinger. Robbie, this might be it. Here goes Bant Rodinger heading down to the channel. The fearless samurai bats the lip for the victory. Stick Taka, that's an unbelievable effort. If the wind had just cooperated a little bit there, Robbie, we would have called it a day. And I'll tell you right now, with just a little bit left on the clock, suspense building. What do we have here? That's the end of the heat. And if the scores hold, Morgan Waro is going to be in first. But we will see what they give Bant Rodinger for that. It's really up to the judges now. I don't know really what to tell you. Have they given the final scores for this? It looks like they have. And Robbie, Morgan Waro looks like he's won here in the 2017 Aloha Classic with Bant Rodinger second, Cami Zubon third, and none other than Kevin Pritchard bumped to fourth with scores pending. Mind you, this isn't over yet.
That last wave of Bant might...
there
were so many good turns before he blew that the very end of that goiter. That
was just a kick-out situation. Nothing spoken for here. Sam, can you go to the top of the hill and update this just so we know what actually happened?
Great heat, though. I mean, everybody sailed really well. Everybody got opportunity. That's nice to see. You hate to see one guy just dominate a heat or one guy drift into the channel and, you know, not get back out. Everybody had a good opportunity. So enough wind that it was fair. Everybody was rotating well. It was good to see.
It's absolutely riveting final for an absolutely awesome contest. We're going to remember this less for the conditions, even though that today and yesterday were fine, but the individual performances, everybody's got a highlight reel and a body of work just to be super proud of. I'm really proud of how Cami sailed and everyone else. Christina, let's come up on the live cast. Robbie wants to introduce you to the crowd here.
Got to introduce Christina.
Oh, of course. Come on, come on. Get on camera. Sit on Daddy's lap here.
Who do you think won?
What?
Who won?
The guy in the orange or Bant?
Cami or Bant's the call. And what kind of moves did you like that gives you that opinion?
Flips.
Flips. You like rotations.
Waiters? Yeah. You like that stuff, huh?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. If Daddy teaches you how to do that, you come here and compete, all right? All right. We want to know. Robbie, thank you for joining us, and an awesome show and great stuff. Look forward to seeing you out there.
Everybody, see you on the water.
Class act, Robbie Nash, US 1111. We're waiting for our final scores here. The Aloha Classic has ended in an alarming fashion here. There's a stunning final, and I just shake my head because I've had a front row seat for this whole thing. It's been a massive battle, and there's still a little bit of sailing to do. You know, it's not early in the day here. And Sam's going to come down and give me the update, and we'll have the final word on this because you at home might know what's going on, and I don't necessarily know for sure what happened there. Robbie's right. That last score for Rodinger could drop in his lap. It could turn into anyone's game. Here comes Rob Funk with the news. Do we have it? This is the final update. Morgan Waro has won the Aloha Classic for the third time over Bant Rodinger. In second, Cami Zubon, proud in third. They're still dropping scores. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Oh, see you, Rob. Good to see you.
Thank you, Robbie.
So much like
Yeah, that's Kevin Pritchard stealing third from Cami. Okay, so here we go. Morgan Waro wins. Bant Rodinger, the Samurai, in second. Kevin Pritchard, KP, podiums the year after he wins with a tooth and nail, gutsy effort for KP. And Cami, nothing to be ashamed of, buddy. Great sailing from you for fourth place. Your best Goalkeeper result since the Maui Makani Classic, which you won 6 years ago. Great sailing to all the riders. Rob, your impressions on that?
That was a great final heat for everybody, man. It was back and forth. That's why I had to keep running up to repower my phone to get the scores.
Okay, it's still not final because we are waiting for a final score from Cami. That's the deciding factor here. And they're waiting to drop on Cami's last score because it's pivotal. 15.27. Kevin Pritchard's in third with 16.57. 16.77 for Rodiger and 17.1 for Morgan in first. So, you know, all my lip about who won. Cami needs a 9.33 to win, a 9 for second. And here comes Morgan in over the rocks, apparently being called the victor here. Everybody's clapping. Nothing's final yet. They're still waiting for Cami's score here. They're still tabulating, you guys. It's never over, Rover.
Till it's over.
Till it's over, Rover. Yogi. Great contest. I almost feel like giving everybody first place in this, to be honest. I mean, it's really one of those things where a couple points here, a couple points there. Like Robbie wisely said, there's no overall impression here. We're not counting jumps. You know, we're not doing any of that. But the reality is that someone's going to win this. And we're just waiting for that score to drop for Zubon. An 8.53 it is. That will keep things as they were. Morgan Waro wins the Aloha Classic for the third time. Bant Rodinger in second. Kevin Prichard in third. And Cami Zubon in fourth. All within 1 point of one another. An astounding display of wave sailing wizardry from all these riders. And I would like to personally thank all four of you for putting on that show, and to thank all of you at home watching this live cast for tuning in to the Aloha Classic 2017. Rob, your final thoughts now that it's a final result.
We did get a great final result. What a great contest. It kind of started out slow. My overall impression for this contest was an A. We had a good time and pulled it off.
Thank you, riders. Thank you, sponsors. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. I already can't wait until next year. We'll see what happens in between. The IWT is going to ramp up a great tour for next year. The PWA has their qualifier. And we have our event in the bag. High five, Funk. All right. Another word from our sponsors as we sign off here in the 2017 Aloha Classic. Thanks for all your kind words about the commentary, you guys. It's been a great event. I've had one of the best events of my entire career right now. Thank you, everybody, for joining in, being a part of the show, on the sidelines, in the field of battle. And congratulations, Morgan Waro. Awesome sailing for and Sarah Hauser, which we've congratulated, and we will do so tomorrow night at the Maui Tropical Plantation. Awesome sailing for everybody. Time to rage it. Get your game face on. Get out there somewhere in the world. You can go windsurfing. Get out there. We love it. Aloha from Maui. Flycatcher out.